Good morning, happy Friday, happy week 8, and welcome into the number one group of 5 college football show in the world. This is the Group of 5 guys, and our mission is to be the voice for the Group of 5 football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of 5 guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, share with your family and friends. On this episode, we had some pretty good games Wednesday and Thursday that we're going to recap. We got several should be bangers in week 8 on Saturday, and we're going to make our best pitch to get College Game Day to go to Memphis next week. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of 5 guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of 5 guys told me that. So that has to be true.
We looked at each other. We was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of 5. So I'm sitting here with the Group of 5 guys, right?
Troy has won. It's been a winner, and it's a special place. So it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Fitting ending to the intro there with Spencer Danielson talking about Boise State. Good shirt that I went with this morning. Gigantic game in Boise this weekend. Gigantic game in New Orleans this weekend. Huge game in Harrisonburg this weekend. And a couple not huge games that are huge games because next week is maybe the biggest game of the year in the Group of 5. And they got to take care of business this week. I'm talking about Memphis and South Florida. Obviously, next week that game is in Memphis. Announced kickoff time, 11 a.m. local time in Memphis, noon Eastern. Don't love that. Do love it if I go because I can make it home by a reasonable hour. What do you think? You think game day? I mean, look, and we get on here. Okay, let me preface. We get up here weekly, daily almost on the socials and say something negative about the worldwide leader. However, I'm not naive. I realize what a game day appearance to a school like Memphis can do for the program, can do for the city, can do for the university. And I think the way that that team is playing, they deserve it. I think the way that their opponent that weekend is playing, they deserve it. And I hope we can get it, Jeff. I'll talk about some other stuff as we go, but you think we got a chance at it or what?
I think there's definitely a chance. Do I have much faith in it? No, because you know who runs ESPN. It's the SEC. They have the media deal. Everything they kind of push is kind of tailored and centered towards the SEC. But you hit it on the head. Look, they deserve, both teams, this conference, the American Conference, deserve a game day matchup, crowd, the whole pageantry, all of it. But the 11 a.m. Central kickoff leads me to believe that they're not getting it. Now they could switch, but I don't know. With that kickoff time, I don't see it. I don't see it. Well,
I've seen that done before, where I've seen them finish the show inside the stadium, but they won't be calling it. That won't be a Herb Street game. So, but I have seen them where Corso would put the headgear on. They'd be in the stadium. Typically, that'd be for, like, I've seen them do that for Texas, Oklahoma when they've gone to that game. Here's the thing. What I will tell you, I'm not a big sources guy, but I did have a conversation with somebody relatively close to the situation, and I was told that it's definitely in consideration. It is on the table. That's about all that I know. And the decision comes down to ESPN, and a lot has to happen this weekend, right? If Memphis messes around and loses to UAB, or if South Florida loses to FAU, then you can probably kiss it goodbye. Here's a couple of the games. I went and looked. I tried to put my best Disney hat on, which is disgusting, by the way. Disney adults. Just kidding. But I was looking at some games that I thought might be competing for with Memphis on this. And here's what you have in the SEC. You have Missouri at Vanderbilt. I mean,
I could see them doing that.
Nashville. I
Like,
could
there's a
too.
lot of
Yeah, doing it on
underlying-
freaking Broadway as if Broadway and
Yeah.
Vanderbilt have a huge connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them play somebody pretty good this week. So I think Vandy might play LSU. So they got to win too. Well, they don't even have to win actually. So, but you got Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Could they go to Norman? I don't know.
Is
I
Mateer
mean,
back?
they're at an Ole Miss game this week, right? Isn't Georgia playing Ole Miss this week? That's where they're at, Athens.
I think so.
So they've done that before too. And then you got Texas A&M at LSU. That one's worrisome. But those are the three in the SEC. And then there was one in the Big 12 that if I wasn't advocating for Memphis, I would say this would be a good one. But BYU at Iowa State would be a cool one. They've been to Ames before. That's Ames, isn't it? Iowa State.
Yeah, I believe so.
Anyway, they've been there before, and it was a pretty cool thing. Yeah, I'm trying to read the chat. I think it's on. I guess we don't know what network it's on yet.
ESPN 2. No, I'm sorry. That's
probably not yet.
Yeah,
probably
no, they
not
don't
even
have it out yet.
Yeah, I wish they would. So I guess you'll have on ESPN, you'll have one of those SEC games will be the noon game, one will be the 3:30 game, and one will be the 7:30 game. And then Memphis, I imagine that's an ESPN2 noon kickoff game. I don't know who you'll get on the call. But yeah, that stuff is, and what I hope for more than anything, whether game day shows up or not, 11 a.m. local kick is tough. I hope that Liberty Bowl's rocking. I mean, that place, like we've played there on multiple occasions, and Memphis wasn't good at the time. And even half full, it's pretty raucous in there. They get after it pretty good. But I feel like we've only played them at night. So I just hope that an early crowd, you get people up, get them at the tailgate, get out there 5 a.m., get your Blackstones out, do breakfast, mimosas, Bloody Marys, the whole deal. Get in there by 11. Then honestly, if you're local, that's the best. I actually like an early game because then you can go home and watch the rest and just chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a big, now that I've gotten older, Sprousey, I'm more of a day drinking type of cat. We get into the wee hours of the night. I get tired. I'm old. I'm an old soul. So you get me an 11 a.m. kickoff with a great tailgate starting at like 7, 8 in the morning. That's right up my alley. I mean, and then the Liberty Bowl is awesome. It's such a great place to play. It is like, it reminds me, kind of like the Roman Coliseum to a bit. Just this old venue that's been there for a long time. They have made some upgrades, which is really cool. But it's like classic, just bowl, like all the way around. Yeah. It looks freaking straight up. The stands do.
Yeah.
It's a great place to play. It's a fun place to watch a game. An 11 a.m. kick. Not that the heat, is going to affect South Florida. They're used to it. But I've remember we played a early afternoon game. I believe my first year at Middle, and it got warm quick. in that
Yeah.
Liberty Bowl. For some reason, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, take care of business this week. It's out of, players and coaches. It's out of their control. I mean, I don't know what the decision making. I wonder how much Herb Street and Reese Davis and them. I wonder how much say they have in it. You know what I mean? If any.
Probably not much. Well, maybe depending on where they got to actually like call, where Herb Street's got to go. Maybe that has like a little bit of,
Yeah, dude. And he's
implications on
been
it.
flying. Like, he's been leaving early. Last week he left early, didn't he? And they
Did he?
go and connect with him. He's on the Gulf Stream up there. I mean,
Yeah, maybe not.
so I
then.
mean, here's the thing. But all of those will be. I mean, he'll be calling whichever one of those is the primetime game, which will, I imagine, that'll be LSU. They'll want to sell the whole bat LSU at night. That whole thing, which is whatever, cool. I imagine Ole Miss, Oklahoma. That feels like a noon game.
Yeah.
It just feels like it. Maybe Mizzou at Vandy could be an early game too, but I don't know. What Herb Street lives in Nashville. Desmond lives in Miami, I think. Chris Fowler, I think, lives in Miami. I don't know where Reese Davis lives, but God, just go to Memphis, dude. Juan's right though. Vandy is worrisome because Vandy might not be good again. And so they might not. Did they go last year at all?
No, I don't think so.
I thought they would have went after they beat Bama last year or something.
Not that
I didn't watch it at all last year. I've been watching it a little bit more this year just so I can, I don't know, come on here and talk trash really more than anything. But yeah, man, I hope they go to Memphis. I really do. I really do. And either way, again, man, Memphis fans, South Florida fans, show out for that game. It's either way, the game's going to be on TV. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. I know. I mean, I put in for credentials and stuff, and I it's not that bad of a drive for me. It is an early game, so I can leave after the game. I can get home by 10, 11 o'clock. But again, they got to take care of business. We'll see, man. I can't wait. That place. You're right. It's a cool stadium. I just love a good crowd pop.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. But anyway, we got to talk about some of these games from midweek, Jeff. Let's start with Wednesday.
Hold on, Sprouse. We got a couple sponsors we got to mention.
I know, dude. I'm just too fired up. I'm up all night watching East Carolina.
I know.
I kept thinking Tulsa had a slim chance.
They were
back.
We'll talk about it, but yeah, they were climbing back in that thing and had some momentum.
You're right, but as always, look, Decker Great Coffee. It's helping us get us through this season. We're about halfway through the regular season already, Jeff, by the way.
I mean, we're okay.
But if you're a coffee drinker, even if you like the smell of coffee, you can get the whole bean, put it in one of those little bowls and put it on the coffee table, It's not a bad idea. Yeah. But visit deckergreat.com. Use our promo code GOFG. It's roast to order coffee, whole bean, ground coffee, and K-Cups available. You put it in your cart, put in our promo code, click purchase. That's when they roast it. That's when they bag it, ship it directly to your doorstep, usually in just a couple of days. Also, I mean, big one yesterday in the Level Sports Discord, guys. A collab from founders, Jay Vandy and Shaw on the coach's desk, hit on a first quarter NFL play.
Two of them.
Two of them. Yeah, two of them. Well, I mean, and those guys, again, they it's about units, not dollars. But they walked away with a pretty penny. And anybody, I mean, I tailed it with a little $10 bet and still made like $85. So
no doubt. No, I mean, it was a big night for everybody in the Discord last night. So if you're into if college football gambling, NBA, MLB, UFC, the coaches all over UFC, you got to sign up. You get a discount right now if you sign up for the first month. And man, it's just a great community that's been built over there. Those guys are awesome. We have our own, Discord chat in there. Blake does soccer. He's got his. So go on and check them out. The link is in the bio.
Well done. Delaware, Jacksonville State on Wednesday night. We talked about which style would take control of this game? Would it be Delaware and the passing offense and Minicucci and throwing for 400 something yards, which he did, by the way? Or would it be the Jacksonville State run game with Cam Cook and Caden Creel? And it was the Jacksonville State all the way around. It's interesting because Delaware did throw it, all over the place, and they didn't really, it wasn't like it was a 5 turnover game. But Jack State just controlled that thing.
They did. The GIS game was won because Jacksonville State's defense held Delaware to 34 yards rushing. And Joe Silver's been a great back this year. Minicucci has been able to run and get in the end zone. They couldn't do anything up front. They got whipped at the point of attack, which consistently put them in second and long, third and long situations. Yeah, they played relatively clean for the quarterback position, but 3 balls on the ground, by receivers, turned it over. You can't turn it over, number one. We've been preaching that, saying that all year long. You get it. If you give yourself a chance by playing clean football, you'll be in the game, which they were in this game even still, like after halftime, but their inability to run the ball, which has really been the first time this year they haven't been able to. So again, we've talked about how week in and week out, which team is going to show up for so many of these teams in the group of 5. And credit Jacksonville State. Defense showed up. Offense showed up. Really played a great game. And again, Cam Cook just continues to just 18 carries, 117 on the ground with 3 trips to the end zone. So shout out to him, man. He's been, I think, the most impactful transfer that I can think of off the top of my head in the group of 5.
Yeah, he's the real deal, and I got a chance to see him in week 1 or 2 against Liberty, and he's pretty damn good. And can I give a shout out to Jacksonville State and their fan base? I told you I was pleasantly surprised when I actually got to go there, but on a Wednesday night, you're playing Delaware. It is a conference game. It looked like on TV they had a pretty good showing.
Yeah, it looked decent.
And especially in Conference USA, I mean, outside of Liberty, I can't think of what Delaware had a decent showing the other, a week or 2 ago when they were on, but Delaware, can they sustain it? They're new. It's a lot of excitement right now around Delaware. They were winning maybe more than they thought they would be winning right off the rip. But Jacksonville State, man, and Jacksonville, Alabama is like this little town east of Birmingham, west of Atlanta. You want to talk about in the heart of all the big brands. They're there. I mean, I don't know. They're probably the distance between Jacksonville and Tuscaloosa, Jacksonville and Knoxville, Jacksonville and Athens, Jacksonville and Auburn. It's like pretty even. And those 4 big brands in the SEC. And damn it, they show up for their team. And yeah, they won the conference. It's not like they're undefeated right now, but they show up for their team, and you can't say enough about it. And you can't say it's so underestimated what it means for the players and for the team, especially in this portal era where I'm telling you right now, guys get tired of playing in front of nobody. So if you got good guys, keep showing up. But shout out to the Gamecock Nation up there in Jacksonville for showing up for that team. And they get another big win. And they look like they got to be the favorite now in Conference USA. And yeah, hey, you know what? Jacksonville State fans, preseason, we didn't even really have them on the board. Our bad. Western Kentucky. I mean, and I think Western's still in the mix. Liberty, they're in the mix now too, as far as mathematically. But I think Jacksonville State is, with consistency, playing better than anybody in the conference.
Which is also crazy because they've kind of had a quarterback carousel a little bit with Wimstad starting the year and then Creel now going in. I think Creel gives them the best chance to win just because he's real athletic. He can run around. Not the greatest thrower of the football, but that offense doesn't need him to be. They just need him to be efficient and protect the ball, and he's done that for the most part.
Yeah. And then you go to the other game, UTEP at Sam Houston. I mean, both of us were just throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to think about what was going to happen this game. UTEP went with Locklear. They had a pretty efficient game for Locklear, 21-26, 236. I mean, nothing special. He did throw a pick.
And it was a bad one. In the red zone, they had just gotten a turnover, and he runs around, getting hit, and just throws it late. And that was just a mistake. It was just a late trying to not take a sack situation, but instead you did something worse. But I thought he played overall pretty well, and I think the offense responds to him better.
They do.
Than Nelson. I think
Yep.
that's what's been going on a little bit as the locker room's been split. So shout out to Walden for making a change. Stuck with one guy. Seemed to work. Ashton Emery had a good day. They force-fed Kenny Odom at times, which I liked because he's their best playmaker, most explosive offensive guy. And their defense has played well all year. And they showed up against Sam Houston, who offensively, and I'm going to just keep saying, I feel bad for Hunter Watson. The kid stayed when he probably could have left. And a lot of guys are back from last year, and I try not to do this, Ross, but they look poorly coached.
Well, and we talked about this on the phone yesterday. When you compare the two, right? So Jacksonville State and Sam Houston were both good last year, and Rich Rod leaves Jack State and goes to West Virginia, and they're doing, I don't know what they are, 500. They're okay. I mean, but they're not doing anything special. And then the new staff comes in, and they just keep rolling. And then Sam Houston, Casey Keeler goes to Temple and completely turns Temple around immediately. And Sam Houston looks bad. And so what can you point to? Again, I don't like to do it either. And you never know what else is going on or what's happening, behind the scenes. But it's about the only thing that you can point to. And here's the maybe worst part for Sam Houston about this game. Interesting, because it's kind of counterintuitive to what we normally talk about. But Sam Houston had less penalties, less turnovers, 10 minutes better time of possession. They still lost. So I don't know. They're in. When do they play Middle? I imagine it's a Tuesday or Wednesday night game.
You got no, it's in November. It's the second to last game of the year.
Here's the other thing about Sam Houston that I think is probably having some effect on them. I mean, they look like there was 150 people at that game.
Well,
they're playing like 100 miles away from campus in a soccer stadium in Houston, which, Houston's one of the biggest cities in the country. They got all kind of stuff going on a Wednesday night. So highly unlikely that locals that don't have a tie to the school are going to go watch an 0-7 football team, unfortunately. East Carolina, ECU's crowd wasn't as good as I thought it would have been last night. There was definitely, when they threw those bombs, there was definitely a good crowd pop. When they had those big 3rd and 4th down stops, there was a good crowd pop. But I was, I don't want to say disappointed, because most other teams in the group of 5 will take that crowd all day long.
Yeah.
But not full. But look, as far as the game goes, Tulsa hung in there. Tulsa played well. It was pretty funny listening to Trey Lamb, and he said, "We're just playing terrible. We can't play anywhere." So I'm like, I think you're playing pretty good. I mean, I think you're in this game. I mean, you're going shot for shot with East Carolina. They just couldn't. I don't have the number in front of me, but it felt like every 3rd and short or 4th and 1 that Tulsa went for, East Carolina just dialed up the perfect blitz or the perfect twist or the perfect slant, and one of the Tulsa guards just left a gap without touching a soul. And it felt like every time Tulsa had a chance to take momentum from East Carolina on a 3rd and short or 4th and short, they tackle for a loss, big sack every single time. And at the end it caught up, and that's when East Carolina pulled away.
East Carolina is you got to give a ton of credit to Blake Harrell and that staff. Getting the full-time position, kind of had that carryover, right, of the culture and his expectation, but they have really just capitalized on it defensively. They look stout. Caden Hauser, we talked about before the season. To me, he was the key. Could he improve, make a big jump, especially in the turnover stat line? And he's done that. I mean, 300 yards last night, 2 touchdowns, no picks. They can run the ball. They got a stable of backs with Gunn and Montgomery. And man, 2-1 in the American. Big showing, on against a Tulsa team that is not there yet. But I love what Trey Lamb is doing. His energy is infectious. And this freshman quarterback, Baylor Hayes, he made some big time plays last night that were, I think, above his like what's the word I'm looking for? He's young, he's a freshman, so he's playing above his I guess year. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's doing veteran type things as a freshman, which is great to see, within the pocket, moving around, decision making. Now there were some young mistakes too, but to come in against a top American defense and to play his ass off like he did, I think it's just, they're a year or two away in this conference. But if he continues to build with that program, with that team, continue to recruit, they got the NIL when we interviewed him. He talked about that. Tulsa is going to be challenging, and I think a very short time in this conference.
Well, and one other thing to add, and I certainly hope it doesn't happen, but if you're Tulsa, maybe you do hope this happens. If a Memphis and a South Florida end up in the Big 12 or in the ACC, or Tulane ends up somewhere, because then you're sitting there, you're right. Trey Lamb talked about the NIL that they've got there. He's already making that push that we can go compete with Oklahoma State for a kid. And, if you end up losing some of the big brands, then Tulsa's sitting there. You got a really good chance. And not to say, even if Memphis and South Florida, Tulane stay around, Tulsa can't catch up, but they got to catch up. And those teams are still going to keep improving too. Memphis is going to be tough to catch up to with all the money that they've got. But I wanted to say one other thing. I mean, East Carolina, the big plays, and Hauser dropped some dimes in there on some big plays. Both of the Smith kids, and then Spalding. I mean, they have weapons all over the field, man. They absolutely do. They're probably kicking themselves because they had a couple of chances against Tulane to win that thing, and they did not. But who knows? We'll see what else happens in the American. We got a long way to go. Long way to go. We're looking at it thinking the playoff is already set. These teams are 1-0 in conference, 2-0 in conference.
Yeah.
We got so much. One injury away from somebody collapsing.
One play away.
One freshman quarterback that we've never seen before comes in and takes a team to go on a 4 or 5 game winning streak and screws somebody's season over. And then the infamous Thanksgiving weekend games that you never know what could happen. We got so long to go, so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. As I say all that, tonight we got San Jose State at Utah State. And as much as I just said we got a long way to go, this is a big spot, because the loser of this game is going to be 2 games back on the winner of UNLV Boise, San Diego State, and the top 2 or 3 in the conference in the Mountain West, with a head-to-head loss over somebody like this. We talked about San Jose State preseason, and I believe it was a big reason was because of their schedule. So if they get this one done, they'll look, they're again right back in it, just a game back, and somebody's going to lose UNLV Boise this weekend. And then you just got to hope you beat somebody head to head, and you're right there in it. But the question is, which San Jose State team do we get tonight?
Yeah, that's the question. It's been the question all year. And I think the bigger question for tonight's game is, last week in that game, Walker Eget and Danny Scudora both were banged up, got injured. How are they doing this week? As of Tuesday, they're both listed as questionable on the injury report. Be looking out. Be checking the news, Google what their injury status is. They should hopefully release that. Should find out maybe an hour or 2 before game time. Because if they're not in, I mean, that's your 2 biggest pieces on offense. And you're having younger guys, more experienced guys come in and try and play in a hostile environment. So if those guys can't go, I like Utah State in this game. I like them to cover. Now, if they both play, again, to me, it's a coin flip type of game. So keep an eye on it. Maybe check the game after it starts because you can always take a live bet for betting purposes on this game. But that to me, that's the storyline because Utah State's offense has been dynamic this year with that backfield and Bryson Barnes. I think they play better at home. Typically, that fan base shows up for them. So it's a great conference mashup. Can't wait to watch it. But keep an eye on that injury.
Yeah, I think you're spot on because Utah State does give up a ton of yards in the pass game. So if Egan goes, if Scudero goes, I mean, you could have another 150-yard night for him. 9 or 10 catches type of night again. Now, if they don't go, you're right. I like Utah State's. Their offense is pretty damn balanced. Kind of middle of the road in every category, but they look good at times. So I'm with you. I think you're spot on. If Egan and Scudero play and are good, I mean, not if they're in there at 60%, then I'll take San Jose State. But also haven't checked the weather there in Utah. But I like Utah State. They'll have a good showing.
51, partly cloudy, a little chilly.
What is that? Is that how late is that game on tonight?
8:00 Central, so 9 Eastern.
Yeah, that's perfect. I got a big day tomorrow, Jeff, before the games. I got to do one of my favorite things. I see how well does Jeff Murphy know Matt Sprouse, the newlywed game. What is arguably my favorite thing to do that I give a lot of university? I'm giving you too much. Okay, what's one of my favorite household chores to handle on a Saturday morning?
I'm gonna go. I think it's 2 things.
Okay.
I think one is mowing the grass, and number 2 is washing the cars.
They're close.
Oh,
I got
wrong.
I'm pressure washing. I'm pressure washing the driveway and the back patio, the front porch. I've already mowed. I think I'm good. I might have to mow one more time for the year. I got the diagonal stripes going in the backyard. Washing the cars. Yeah, I may do that. I mean, I do that. That's a pretty standard. Pressure washer usually twice a year I hit.
Well, that's why I see you threw me off there. I thought this was like a regular.
No. Because this is I've been, dude. My wife gives me flack. Okay, it's October 17th, but I'm preparing the house for the holidays. Yeah, and what I know is because we got my middle kid's birthday is in 2 weeks. Then it's Halloween, which is a big. I'm telling you, I'll take some videos. I'll post them. My neighborhood gets after it on Halloween. I mean, we're talking food trucks, ATVs. I mean, trains, all kind of stuff going through the neighborhood on Halloween. So it's a big day. So we'll have people here. So yesterday afternoon, this weekend I mulched, put new mulch down. Yesterday afternoon, I planted my fall flowers. So I've got that done. Now I got pressure wash, but but this is all in preparing for like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I know that I'm not going to a game this weekend, so it's got to be done. It's got to be done because next weekend I'll be in Memphis. The weekend after that's Halloween, so we're going to have the people here. And then, dude, you know what I mean? You never know when it's going to get too cold to be out there with a pressure washer. So anyway, I do it twice a year, pressure wash the driveway and the patio. Some of these athletic programs haven't pressure washed in decades.
Oh, I know.
Decades. You see stains dripping down the concrete on the wall of the stadium, and all they do is put a banner or an advertisement over the thing instead of getting out there with the pressure. I can't stand it, dude. All you got to do, the pressure washer, and get you some of that easy
business. That's simple the business you need to start, Sprouse. Stadium pressure washing.
Yeah, and all I do is stadiums. I'll do it, dude. Give me some of those big rubber boots that those guys wear. See, that's the thing, though, dude. I am not like when I mow or I do yard, like I'm not like putting boots and
no.
I'm just out there. No, dude, barefoot most of the time. Just like Johnny Appleseed, dude. Yeah. Anyway, we got some more stuff to talk about. Saturday, couple of big ones. So we got a few, so we'll try to move quick. We got a couple of voicemails. Army at Tulane. Last time these two hooked up was a conference championship game in West Point, which was an absolute bludgeoning. Army dominated and bullied Tulane. Then afterwards, we found out that Darian Mensah had already had his stuff lined up, and His agent was taking 20% already, and kind of there was a lot going on there. Not to take away at all for what Army did last time they played. Army ran for 335 and held Mekhi Hughes and the Tulane run game to. It's an early kickoff as well this week, right? 11 a.m. local time kickoff.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, man. Uptown New Orleans, you guys better start getting out there and supporting that team. You want that? You want Coach Summerall to stay. You want to win games. You need to start coming out, not just when it's a primetime night game. But I'm very nervous about this if I'm Tulane. Army's been playing better. I know they've played some bad teams the last couple of weeks, but they've been playing a little better. You know, their early season was weird. You know, they lose to Tarleton State, but then they go beat Kansas State. They're up and down. They're having to come back. So, again, Tulane, if you start this game the way you did against South Alabama or the way you couldn't get in the end zone against East Carolina last week, you might be in some trouble here. I don't like this game at all, Jeff.
I don't either. Tulane's got to start finishing drives when they get into the red zone. They're too good and have too many, explosive players on offense to not get in the end zone. So hopefully I'm sure that's been a point of emphasis is finishing drives. I think their defense is stout, man. I do, especially their front seven is really, really good. And I just haven't seen enough from Army, but it's a triple option team. So as far as betting goes, I'm staying away from this. You've seen inconsistencies with the Green Wave offensively. Army has looked great. They've not looked good at times, so you don't know what you're going to get with them. They went with Kel Helms last week. Are they going to go with him again? So a lot of question marks in a game that can go either direction. But on paper, Tulane is the more talented team. I think they're better defensively than Army is. So Tulane should take care of business at home. Should.
Yeah, and a little bit of revenge factor for them, I think,
sure.
too. But yeah, stay away. I would say for that one. UTSA at North Texas. This one's interesting to me because UTSA looked the best they've looked all season last week, and they looked like they were playing fast, playing loose, physical. And then North Texas, to me, yeah, they made a lot of mistakes, but I do think last week they proved that they're actually good. It wasn't just a result of a easy schedule or this and that. I think they're actually good. They made a ton of mistakes, and we talked about it. There was 3 or 4 minutes of that game right in the middle. Usually you talk about the middle 8. This was like the middle 3 where South Florida pulled away. Other than that, it was a tie game. It was back and forth game where South Florida was able to win. So my question is, Jeff, and I actually have a question for you. I'm not to put you on the spot, but if you're Mestamaker, you've been dialed in all season long, 5 or 6 games where you look damn near the best quarterback in the conference. And then you have kind of a bad one where you turn it over a bunch. How easy is it to bounce back to the guy we've seen all season versus this one game? So what do you think is more likely for him to go back to the guy that's been dialed or the guy that made a bunch of mistakes? He is a young kid. It hadn't had a lot of experience.
Well, that was going to be my point. Obviously the storyline with him is not playing in high school, getting a opportunity here at North Texas. He's young. So I'm a big, believer in quarterback is so much about experience. And not saying you have to have experience to be successful, but it's about the mental aspect of going through situations, having to dig yourself out of them. So if I had to put my money on it, Mestamaker's been great all year. Hadn't turned it over. Had the 3 picks, obviously, a week ago against a very, very good South Florida defense. I think he gets back on track this game, but I don't think it's just we're going to get right back to business. And I think that's more because UTSA is a good team. They're well coached. And I think they're hitting their stride. And the other thing is you have to keep an eye on Cameron Dorner and Wyatt Young. Number 2 and 3 leading receivers for North Texas are listed as questionable. Keep an eye on it Friday, Saturday when we wake up. If they don't go, I know they have a stable of receivers are always deep at that position, but those are 2 guys that he's had rapport with. Does that limit the offensive play calling, schematically what you can call? I assume they'll go, but it's just something to keep an eye out for. But to your question, I think Mestamaker is fine. but it wouldn't shock me if he comes out pressing just a little bit as a young guy who had a tough matchup in a primetime game. It wouldn't shock me.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I'm a little worried. And we mentioned this 3 or 4 weeks ago with UTSA. And it's like this for a lot of teams. You have this idea of a team that you think is a favorite or a contender in the conference, and then they play a couple of non-conference games and they look bad. And you think, oh, I'm off the wagon. But then conference play comes around and they go beat a Rice team by 50 points and look like the team that we thought they were going to be in August and in July when we were talking about them. So which one is it? Is it the one that struggled early, or is it the one that put up 60 points last week? And then for North Texas, what do we get out of Mestamaker? I feel like it's got the my gut tells me, I hope not. My heart tells me North Texas bounces back. This is a shootout. This is a game for the freaking ages. And by the way, shout out to the North Texas fans because it looks like they're going to sell out again in Denton. And shout out to them because that's happens so often where you get up for one big game and you lose and then they never come back again. We've seen that happen a zillion times, Jeff. Shout out to them. Looks like they're going to have a big crowd. My gut tells me that you're going to see a North Texas collapse. It does. And I no reason at all. Just that's kind of what tends to happen sometimes. You're really good and then you play a really good team. You're banged up. Your young quarterback made some mistakes. My heart tells me shootout in Denton, awesome game. But don't be surprised if UTSA starts rolling right now.
Yeah, it should be a fun one for sure. You know what, Spruce? I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to say North Texas bounces back.
Good.
Just to challenge your gut.
I hope they do. I mean, and I think they might
too.
bounce back and still lose. You know what I'm saying? Memphis at UAB. Look, this is the first leg of what we need to happen for Memphis to host game day. And there's only one thing that I fear for Memphis going to Protective Stadium. And do you know what that is, Jeff? I know you do.
I know what it is.
It's an interim head coach at UAB. I tried. I dug through the internet. I asked ChatGPT. I asked all the AI bots. I was doing it all, trying to find out a record, first game record for interim head coaches at the college level. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find one. If anecdotally, it's got to be close to 500.
Yeah.
And even without the wins, they play with some energy and play better. Now, game 2 is probably damn near 0 winning percentage because you get these interim head coaches are taking over a bad team, and all of a sudden these players buy into the new coach. They do something a little different in practice. The players got their energy up. They're trying to earn the respect of a guy that might be the head coach going forward. You don't know, or trying to get some tape. That being said, Memphis is too damn talented. They're too big. They're too big. They're too physical. They're too fast. They run the ball too well. And when all else fails, you run the ball and you play defense. And Memphis will get it done. 3 touchdowns is quite a bit, though.
That's a big spread, especially for the one-game bump with the interim. I think Memphis handles business as much as they should come out UAB with some energy and all those things. Memphis is top to bottom a more talented roster. Unless you have just they come out flat, Memphis will handle business.
Yeah. Second leg that needs to happen is the South Florida Bulls need to win at home against the Owls of Florida Atlantic. Here's the only thing that worries me here about this game. South Florida potentially looking ahead to Memphis. We've seen South Florida the last couple of weeks kind of lackadaisically going through the motions early, playing around. The only thing that worries me is if they do that, FAU, the last couple of weeks, starting to throw it, starting to be that high-powered offense that we've seen. They can go score quickly. So if South Florida's kind of messing around, this is what happened. I don't think FAU's offense is as good as North Texas. And we saw it happen. I mean, North Texas offense moved the ball at will in the first half, really, against South Florida. So, but if South Florida messes around, maybe they turn it over early and get down, then you might start pressing. I don't think they will. I think if Byron Brown is healthy, South Florida should beat everybody, including Memphis, on their schedule. But they tend to just BS a little bit. They've been doing it the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. The South Florida's defense is really good. You add Byron Brown on the other side. I mean, they should roll FAU. I mean, FAU has looked better offensively, but I don't think they have the caliber of guy to not only hold up front with that offensive line has struggled. I just think top to bottom, South Florida is just they're good, man. They're just a really good
really
team,
good.
and they're just kind of playing with guys like you know what I mean. Like, they're not,
have you ever seen a grizzly like catch a salmon and they kind of just
yeah,
throwing it up in the air and smacking it down and catching it? Or you ever seen a lion like, just toying with their food? That's what South Florida has done, which is scary because that's how dominant they are and can be. But
I agree.
yeah, I don't know. Will the Bulls toy with the Owls too much is the question. The other big one, huge one, Mountain West Conference Championship rematch on the blue turf. Undefeated UNLV is still 11.5-point dogs on the road at Boise. Both of these teams, if you're Memphis or you're South Florida or Tulane or North Texas or James Madison, you're probably a Boise fan here because you don't want an undefeated UNLV. But I don't trust either team, Jeff. Do I trust UNLV to get 1 or 2 stops in the entire game? No. Do I trust Boise to run the ball and stay ahead of the chains? No. I think they're going to probably come out. I don't know what the odds are on it, but if there's a bet out there that says Boise State opens the game with 3 straight passes and they go 3 and out, I take it. Because it's so baffling to me. But I don't trust either team to do what they can and what they're supposed to do. But the main thing is, it's not even that like Boise, I know is capable. I just don't trust them. UNLV, I don't know if they're capable of getting those stops, especially against a Boise team that should call the plays like they're supposed to. So we'll see, man. I think until proven otherwise, dude, Boise, as bad as they look at times, or I shouldn't even say as bad as not dominant as they look at times, I still think they're the better team.
Yeah, I think top to bottom they're the better team. But Calandra for UNLV has played really well all year long. He can run around. He makes plays on the move, and they got plenty of skill, in Las Vegas. But it's on the blue turf. Boise plays well at home. They're 3-0 this year, and their margin of victory is over 2 scores. So I think Boise State handles business here. And the main factor is because they are at home. It should be a raucous crowd. It's 51 degrees is the temperature at kickoff. How much does that play in a role? I know that's not like cold, but UNLV's used to playing in a dome. It's warmer in Vegas. Trying to find all the little reasons for this game, but it should be a fun one. I don't know about 11.5. I think it's closer. I think it's a 1-score game.
Yeah. It'll be a good one to watch. FS1, right? 3:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
Ooh, it'd be a good one. Be a good one to watch. Hawaii at Colorado State. Here's another one where I'm just not sure I trust Colorado State yet. They had one game. I'm not sure why they're the favorite in this game. I guess they're at home. I mean, that's maybe it. The travel for Hawaii, but they've had one game where they looked good. Granted, it was last week, but are we basing this line? Are we basing a prediction on one game? Because Hawaii, on the other hand, has the last couple of weeks looked like the Hawaii team that we thought we were going to see. So I'm not sure. I don't think Hawaii's straight up winning this thing.
Yeah, this line was weird to me too, but Colorado State gets the big win a week ago where I didn't think they had much of a chance. So maybe Vegas sees something that we don't, but Hawaii is dynamic offensively. Their defense is playing bend, don't break. I just think they have more firepower across the board.
I agree.
But you got
Well,
the
you're right. Their defense is good. It's not like this is a
yeah.
they're they're not a we've got to score 50 and outscore everybody. Their defense is playing well.
Yeah, I mean, on its face, I want to take Hawaii to cover that. I mean, or as a dog. So, but I'm sure they'll go to Fort Collins.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be a dog. A bit of a dog fight.
Puffing and puffing. Yeah, interesting. Troy at Monroe. Look, if Tucker Kilcrease can keep it going, Troy is going to make a run at the Sun Belt West, buddy. I had him as a dark horse. I didn't think they would do it with their second or third quarterback coming in, but Kilcrease is playing well the last couple of weeks. I think it was Zachary Branner talked about how tough a time they've had going to Monroe, but I think Monroe is closer to the Monroe of old than they are the Monroe that was started 5-0 last year. And Troy's playing well. Troy's got a couple big wins now. Can't go to overtime again. Got to get this thing done in regulation.
Look, they're going to have to bring their own juice. Monroe is always a tough place to play because of kind of the lack of energy from the crowd. But this is a big game for Troy. If Troy wants to, if Troy's for real, they go down in Monroe and handle business. Now, if they mess around and lose this game, and it's like, okay, the other two games were outliers. So I think this is actually a very big game for Troy. They got Tay Meadows. Obviously, you talked about Kilcrease and how he played incredible a week ago. Just continue to do that, man. They've been very balanced. Defense has been playing good. I like Troy. I like Troy to cover the 5.5.
Yeah. I like Troy a lot. They got the momentum right now too. And again, we with Texas State not looking good lately. I mean, this West is totally up for grabs, and between Troy and Southern Miss, I mean, it's yours for the taking. Just handle business. Coastal at App State. This is such a fun, bring back the rivalry of 2020, 2021 with this game. It was great, dude. Just phenomenal stuff. App State at home. I think they're playing better. Coastal, they've played well. They've played better, the last couple, I guess. But I don't trust any kind of consistency out of them. And I think App State's offense is just, they could throw it too well, no matter who they got in there at quarterback, by the way. I like App at home. Yeah,
J.J. Cole played amazing a week ago with 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think that he continues to roll. App State, kind of like Boise, that home field advantage is for real. Coastal had a big win, you know what I mean? But I think traveling there, App State's kind of hitting their stride. Give me App State to win this game. 10.5's kind of a lot, though.
A lot. Well, and that's how Coastal's been. It's coach is on the hot seat. Oh, Coastal looked pretty good. They're back in the race. Coach is on the hot seat. Oh, Coastal's right back in the race. So we'll see which one we get here. But yeah, going to Boone is always tough. Starting to get that fall foliage in Boone too, where it's just gorgeous, perfect backdrop for football. Great crowds all the time. They sell out every week. So just a beautiful place to play. A couple other games in the Sun Belt. I mean, you got Texas State at Marshall. My thing is this, and I want to say something about the national media, because when all these Power 4 jobs come open, they start giving you the list of coaches that they think should take the job. And this is how you know that they're not even watching, they're not even keeping track, because these media personalities will see a Penn State come open and they'll put their list of coaches, and you'll have, this year, even a week ago, they still have Jamie Chadwell on the list, GJ Kinney on the list. And look, I think Jamie Chadwell and GJ Kinney are great coaches, but they're not coaching good. Penn State is not hiring a 2-5 head coach to go there. So that's how, they remember a name from 2 or 3 years ago when he's leaving Coastal, and they think Chadwell's going to be the guy to go rescue Virginia Tech. Well, they're not hiring somebody. They're not going to win the press conference with that hire. But anyway, for Texas State at Marshall, I mean, at what point do we stop talking about Texas State. At what point do we hold them accountable for not living up to the hype? I mean, it's been 3 years in a row, Jeff, 4 years in a row.
No, I'm with you. I think they've excuse me, sort of underachieved, especially this year. I know they had the quarterback question, and he's a young QB. And I want to give a ton of credit to Carlos Del Rio, quarterback for Marshall. Yeah. He's played lights out, especially the last couple weeks. And I think Marshall at home is a different animal. Like, this is going to be a tough matchup on the road. This will tell you a lot about Texas State. If they go into Huntington and win this game, that'll be a tough, big road win for them, and they need it in conference really bad at 0-2. Yeah. So this should be a fun matchup. But man, I couldn't be more thrilled if you're a Thundering Herd fan with the play of Del Rio.
Well, and if Marshall gets a win, what's Marshall sitting at right now?
They are 1-1 in the belt, 3-3.
And 3-3 overall. So if they get this win, you jumped off the bandwagon. Everybody thought, oh, what a terrible hire, Tony Gibson, blah, blah. It's like, oh, now wait a minute. Starting to hit a little stride. In the Sun Belt West, Southern Miss at Louisiana. The Fighting Charles Huffs going to Lafayette. I think they're starting to get in a rhythm, and they're starting to look like a team that sort of in a roundabout way won the conference last year.
Well, then why are they only favored by 3.5? That's this line is again throwing me for a loop. Like,
yeah, well, you know how tough it is to go down to Lafayette, they've had, for all their issues, they've had some decent crowd showings.
Yeah,
I know there's some disconnect between the admin and the students and the community and all that, but they've had 19,000-20,000 showing up for a team that's not
sure. Lunch
great.
Winfield, played James Madison very, very tough. But man, you got to go down there and see Southern Miss at Statesboro. I mean, they look good, man. Yep, they're big, they're physical. Braxton is a game changer. I think they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, that running back Pittman. Listen, so I told you the story when I saw the guy. He also has, which this is neither here nor there, is a big tattoo on the tricep with the freaking Southeastern Conference logo on it.
Mm.
God, yeah. So you better cover that up.
Give me the Raging Cajuns.
Give me an SBC logo
right.
on your tricep there, Chief. Last one we got to talk about. Still a big one, not as big as it would have been had Old Dominion not gotten just absolutely bludgeoned by Marshall. But James Madison only 1.5 favorites at home. Interested to see how they play Colton Joseph. The thing that I like for James Madison here is they've got arguably the best interior defensive lineman, not just in the Sun Belt, not just in the Group of Five, but in the damn country. Emmanuel Bush. He talked about him quite a bit last week. That he's able to get pressure up the middle, which is brutal, as you've talked about, for a quarterback. And it's especially brutal for a guy that's mobile, because typically what you see, right, a mobile quarterback, they drop back, pressure from the edge, they take a little step up, and then they can start rolling out, and that's when they're able to take off and make plays. Or they step up in the pocket, and that's when there's these wide open gaps where they can run for first downs. But when you get that pressure up the middle and that pocket collapses, and now you can't step up in the pocket, you're having to spin out of the pocket. And James Madison's got too many guys. They've got too much pressure off the edge, Bush up the middle. I think it's going to give Colton Joseph some problems. And then what's been his Achilles heel is the turnovers. So I think they'll be able to turn him over. I think they'll be able to keep him contained as far as on his feet. We'll just see what kind of, what James Madison's able to do offensively. But I think this is lower scoring. I think this is a field position, very important type of game, which I think James Madison will win because they'll be able to handle Colton Joseph.
Top to bottom, I think James Madison is the more complete team. But Colton Joseph, as dynamic as he is, he's going to give you a chance in this game. Yep. Now, if he can play clean football, which typically after a game where he's he's turned it over quite a bit. He usually comes out and plays pretty locked in, protects the ball, makes big plays with his legs. I picked James Madison to win this conference. So I think they win this game, but I would not be surprised if Old Dominion goes into Harrisonburg and steals one. It wouldn't shock me one bit just because of how well they have played coming off of a embarrassing loss. You better look for ODU to come out firing on all cylinders with a ton of energy because I think they got embarrassed a week ago.
Well, and remember now, the Sun Belt's the only conference remaining in the country that still plays with divisions. And if Old Dominion beats James Madison, they're head-to-head. They'll both have the one loss, and Old Dominion's got the head-to-head. They're in. I mean, barring Marshall winning out, but so that'll be a good one to watch. Man, a lot of good games. This is one of those weeks where now, of course, the way this season's been going, this will be a dud. Blowouts left and right is what you'll see this week, which is what we thought we would get last week and the week before. And we had all these upsets, but we got a couple of voicemails we got to get to. We can get to all of them. I'm good, Jeff.
Yeah.
615-900-4286. Let's get your calls after these games. Let's get some James Madison callers. Let's get an ODU caller. I don't know if we've had any Old Dominion callers, one or two maybe. But let's get everybody calling 615-900-4286 with your emotions after the game. Jeff, let's see what we got today.
Group of five guys. This is Cody. I'm a first-time caller. Have not called in before, but I've been lurking. I've been listening. Seems like you guys don't get a lot of callers that are Memphis Tigers fans.
Nice.
So I'm here to change that. I've been listening, and I know you guys are buying into Summerall and Tulane. It's a fun town. He's got it rolling down there, I understand. But we need to talk about Memphis a little more. And you guys have showed them love. I will give you props for that. You guys have showed them some love. Haven't let the Tulane bias creep in too much. But what I really want to talk about was this. Everybody in the city is talking about College game day coming to town with USF on October the 25th. They want it to happen. But what makes me nervous is UAB. I really wish UAB would have held on to Trent Dilfer just 1 week longer so he could have been on the sidelines for this Memphis at UAB matchup for the Battle of the Bones. I just hope that this is not a situation where all of a sudden Kitna figures it out because Dilfer's gone and he's allowed to just go create and be a quarterback and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against us. And for Ryan Silverfield to drop a game that he typically does. He goes into conference last year against UTSA, which UTSA, we haven't forgotten. Taj Rael leaking the playbook to McCown. We haven't forgotten. Everybody else had to sweep that under the rug, but we hadn't forgotten Memphis. So I'm just hoping that Silverfield has Memphis prepared and focused on UAB, and we take care of business. USF takes care of business. And I heard you guys say you might come down to Memphis. So I invite you to come down to Memphis, see that game, see the new stadium and the renovations that are taking place, and see what's going on with that culture like you did for Tulane. Come support the Tigers. Go Tigers. Beat the hell out of UAB, and I'll be calling back.
I love it.
Great call, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely great call. Appreciate it, Cody.
I'll be there, Cody. I'm going to see it. Now, we're not going to probably be able to do the big production like we did at Tulane. Listen, let me preface the whole Tulane thing. Like, yes, great program, great team, great town, all the deal. But they've invited us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Memphis, but hey, Memphis, we got you number one in the poll. You know what I'm saying? By the way, can I say something, Jeff?
I already know what you're going to say. Go for it.
No. I don't think you do know what we're going to say. When we put the poll out and we had South Florida at number 2, you want to talk about a sensitive bunch.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
I had somebody on there say, you guys, that you're biased. You guys never talk about South Florida. I responded. I said, buddy, I've been talking about South Florida before South Florida was talking about South Florida. I've been on this bandwagon for 5 years, waiting for this moment. And we got them at number 2. and it's not good enough. I mean,
and
geez.
they're gonna play next week.
And then I said, beat them in 2 weeks, and you'll be fine. You'll be number one. Congratulations. But no, yeah, I can't wait to. I totally forgot about all the renovations and stuff because we went to Memphis 2 years ago.
When they played Boise.
Yeah, when they played Boise, and tailgate was phenomenal. They had D'Angelo Williams was back in town. Remember they had that whole deal. So I'm gonna try to get there, Cody. If you're listening, I'm gonna try to get there like Friday late afternoon. I still hadn't figured out a hotel situation because I'm real nervous because last time I booked it. I'll take blame, and I booked this hotel that was on the map. It was next to all the things that you would think would be a nice area for a hotel. There was like a Target, a PF Chang's, there was a damn Hilton across the street, and I cheaped out. And I don't even remember what it was called. I don't even remember what part of Memphis it was in. I know it was definitely east of town, like east of the stadium. But it was bad. It was rough. So I've done some research a little bit. I think I've got some ideas, but some of the ones they're talking about are high dollar. I need to just figure out where South Florida is going to stay because that'll be a nice hotel.
Yeah,
and it'll be. But anyway, appreciate the call, Cody. Now we do have to kind of hurry.
Yeah, you're good.
my bad. Interim head coach though, he's right. He's spot on with that. Look out.
Group of five guys. This is Sean from outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania here, getting the call in. First off, Jeff, congratulations on getting that second shop set up in Murfreesboro. Best of luck and wishing you all a success there. Hopefully you'll be met with a lot of success continued, and got to figure out a way to get some muffaletta up here to Pittsburgh, but we'll work on that later. Right now, there's just a lot more work that needs to be done on the Air Force defense, as you guys alluded to before. But look, this is going to be the week. There's no way that they're going to give a hair over maybe 500 yards to Wyoming, right? And if they do that, we know the offense will score. It's time to get one in a win column against what's been actually, I think, an underrated rivalry against Wyoming, right? I mean, these teams have been playing since probably, I think, the 50s, 60s. So really close rivalry, separated by three wins, not a whole lot of distance. So pretty excited for it. All the jest aside for what's been pretty difficult circumstance on a line defense. Hopefully they start to develop and got to start seeing some improvement. But really looking forward to this game. I think it's when they'll turn the corner. And if they don't, I think it's probably going to be an absolute free fall from there. So we'll see. Hopefully it goes well. But really been enjoying your show. Just wanted to get a chance to call in and again, more so to congratulate you Jeff. And again, it's great, when you laid out your resolutions at the beginning of the year. This is one of them. Matt, I know one, you all mentioned, really getting this show off the ground and everything, and y'all are doing it. So, Matthew 7:8, guys, keep praying, keep asking, keep seeking. It's delivering, guys, and you're doing a fantastic job. I'm done pumping your tires. Thanks for all you do. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and let's enjoy some ball.
Appreciate you, Sean. No, it means a lot, man. All the support you've given us over the last, couple years, and it's been awesome and much, much appreciated.
Now, Pittsburgh, they are sandwich. They got Primanti brothers out of Pittsburgh. You ever been there? Yeah. Is there one in Tennessee? We had them down in Fort Lauderdale. There was one on the beach down in Fort Lauderdale that was a big, because it was that Pittsburgh style, like, maybe I'm making this totally up. I feel like it was the sandwich and they put the fries on the sandwich. They just put everything on the sandwich. It was like a real blue collar thing. Put the sides and just everything on it.
Yeah.
As if you could eat it without a fork
and knife.
like you picture like somebody sitting on a beam on top of a skyscraper, just eating a sandwich, but it's That's like, right. Well, it's all falling. You're going to have French fries falling 200 stories. Anyway. But yeah, appreciate that call. That means a lot. You keep pumping my tires all day long, buddy. It's nice to hear.
And I'm with you. I think Air Force gets the win this week.
Yeah, 100%.
Last one.
Hey, Group of Five guys. Tom here, resident Charlotte fan. A little bit of emergency calling here. Big news out of the athletic department that our athletic director has been fired. I mean, it's hard to doubt why with the results on the field. We're good at non-revenue sports, but, that doesn't really matter when football is this bad. And basketball has not been good either. I think most fans are kind of ready for this to happen. It's just the timing's a little strange, just 6 games in after hiring a new football coach, which everyone believes is a home run with Tim Albin. Although I will say with the small connections I do have, it did kind of sound like the chancellor stepped in there and kind of made the hire over the athletic director. But yeah, I mean, this is a big deal for the school. We're kind of lacking in raising some revenue, and obviously results on the football field have been atrocious. So it makes sense. But yeah, just wanted to give y'all guys an update. We're going to be looking for a new AD. This weekend we got Temple coming into town. We are probably going to sell it out, maybe a couple hundred short of selling out to watch us go 1-6, which is nuts. I don't know how our fans keep doing it. I just hope we get rewarded one day with just a competent football team, not even a good one. But we got a shell of a team out here against Temple, and Temple are decent this year, so I'm not expecting much. But we'll be loud, we'll be rowdy, we'll win the tailgate for the 7th straight game. But yeah, just wanted to drop you guys in with that news real quick. Looking forward to a good weekend of college football. Hopefully the Niners make it competitive this weekend. But yeah, God bless. Look forward to hearing you guys Friday. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, big news out of Charlotte. We should have. That's my fault, Jeff. We should have opened the show talking about that. And it is interesting, the timing, because you just hired a new football coach, and it's one that, like he said on the call, everybody thinks is an absolute home run hire. But we know a little something too about the chancellor or the president kind of stepping in and making a hire. Yeah, I mean, normally they like to have their guy as the coach, but I don't think anybody expected Tim Albin to come in and win 8 or 9 games this year, but I'm a little surprised it hasn't gone a little better than it has.
They've also been riddled with injuries.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they had to have been one of the most injured teams top to bottom as far as their roster goes.
Yeah, and he also didn't get. We talked about this on the last show. Like, he didn't get a bunch of culture guys. Like, can you imagine if he brought Navarro and Bangura and them down to Charlotte? You'd be having a whole different season. Yeah. So he'll be fine. But interested to see what they do at the AD spot and what the AD does then when they come in. And he brought it up too. Again, you can't say enough about the Charlotte fans. I know everybody gives them crap, but they show up every week. Every damn week they show up. So, hey, if you like the show, make sure you follow us on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. Awesome week 8 ahead of us starting tonight with San Jose State and Utah State. Bunch of good games on Saturday. Be careful, be safe. God bless the Group of Five. God bless the Group of Five Guys. We're out of here.